All right, here's a scary fact for you. Every single day, there are 12,000 Uber rides that go horribly wrong. Now, some of them are just bad reviews, like the driver was a maniac or they took a really long route. But others are straight up nightmares. Like, for instance, I once got into an Uber, and when we got into the car, the driver started asking me a whole bunch of weird personal questions. And by the end of the ride, he ended up going down this sketchy back road. He stopped the car and he was like, "Hey, do you want to see something really cool? There's a body in the trunk." And I was like, "Nope." And then he was like, "What? You don't want to see a dead body?" And then I was like, "Nope." And then he started freaking out, and then he slammed on the brakes and he looked over at me and he goes, "Wait a minute, you look exactly like the girl from the Amber Alert that I saw on TV this morning. Are you the missing girl?" And then he started driving even crazier. So yeah, that's not a story I want to hear again. Have you ever had a ride go terribly wrong? If so, share your story below, because today I'm going to tell you about the time my Uber decided to take me on a joyride that almost ended in disaster. It was late at night, I was drunk, and I needed a ride home from the bar. I opened up the app, and luckily an Uber was right outside the door. I got in, the driver was nice, and I thought it was going to be a totally normal ride. But within minutes, everything went horribly wrong. Now, normally my apartment complex has this big sign out front that says, "Welcome home." But when I got there last night, that sign was gone. It was pitch black, and the entrance to my complex was super hard to find. I told the driver, "Hey, can you call me a Lyft? My apartment is really hard to get to right now." He responded, No, I got you." And he kept driving. I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He kept driving past my apartment. Then he finally stopped, he turned around and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna walk around back and come in through the back entrance." Now, normally that would have been fine, but the thing is, our car was parked on the street. The windows were down and there was a giant flashing red button on the roof. Basically, this guy had no idea where he was going, and I was starting to panic. Then he finally found the back entrance, but it was locked. So he drove us around the entire complex looking for another way in. Finally, he let me out, took off, sped down the street, and hit a bush. I started walking towards my apartment, which was only a few steps away, but I was worried someone might steal my stuff. Luckily, the driver followed me and parked his car directly in front of my door. I opened the app to complain, but before I could say anything, he sent me this message. "I'm sorry for the trouble, but I'm gonna need you to rate me a 5-star. I was shocked. I didn't respond. I just got out of there. The next morning, I checked the app to see if my things were missing, and somehow I'd gotten a 5-star rating. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is my roommate also ordered an Uber the same night, and she got the exact same driver. I guess she was lucky, though, because he didn't take her on a joyride. But still, what should we do about this? Should we report him, or is it just an app we should all stay away from? I mean, maybe I'll just stick to taxis from now on. Have you ever had a bad experience with a rideshare service? If so, share your story below. And hey, before you go, check out another one of my storytelling videos. This one is pretty good. Thanks for watching. Bye.